Welcome to Do You Ever Wonder? The show that brings you answers to many of the questions that you may have, but with no one to ask. Do You Ever Wonder is hosted by Mike Haltman, CEO of Hallmark Abstract Service, who, like you, has always been deeply curious about a wide variety of topics. Each week, Mike will be speaking with guests who are leaders in their field and who have inspirational stories to tell. So now, sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, welcome everyone to a new episode of Do You Ever Wonder? My guest today is Sal Conca. Sal is a marketing, I don't know, is the word guru too strong, genius too not strong enough? What do you think?
We'll just go with marketing veteran. I've been doing this a long time, Mike.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And the name of this podcast is Do You Ever Wonder? You're probably wondering where I got that terrific music.
I am wondering.
Because I saw you were moving along with the
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well,
But
I'm a musician, so the music speaks to me.
all right. Well, one of the reasons I think it's important to have you on as a guest is that, businesses right now are, whatever they say about the economy, times are not as robust as they once were. I know in my particular field that's real estate related, certainly times are not as robust, but even regardless of industry, things are a little more challenging. So well, describe a little bit about what you do.
So I teased it with being a marketing veteran, but I've been in the digital advertising space for 20 plus years at this point. I have a background in affiliate marketing, digital advertising, content marketing, YouTube advertising, video and video creation, video production. I've been on both sides of the video world. And I also teach at Stony Brook University. I teach a graduate level class. I created the first digital marketing curriculum at Stony Brook University. It's my fourth year that I've just started. So, I mean, anything and everything to do with digital marketing, I've probably seen it, touched it, done it, whether it's e-commerce or whether it's business and financial services and service-based businesses. So,
Great. So before we get into the digital marketing end of it, are you, I know you follow the credo, which I often mention when I'm doing my in-person networking, is developing know, like, trust relationships. Very important concept because, as I always say, until you trust somebody, you really can't allow them to have any part of your business because you can't risk that. So, what does know, like, trust mean to you?
yeah, it's so funny you use that. I use that terminology all the time as well. And so, what digital marketing, and especially in the world of social media and YouTube, what this has allowed people to do is get an audience or your customers, potential customers, or building community, getting people to know, like, and trust you at scale, right? In the past, I'd have to go to a networking group and shake hands. And let's say I went to a conference and I'm in a room with 400 people. How many hands do you think I can shake in a day with a room full of 400 people? Now, quality is better than quantity. But at the end of the day, if you want to broadcast a message, digital ads, and we live in a world today, there's never been greater opportunity. It's why you have a podcast, right? Imagine all the people now that get to know, like, and trust you on a regular basis. So for me, it's super important. I mean, the personal relationships like you and I have, sitting down, either shaking hands, breaking bread, those things are super important. You're going to have a deeper connection with people that you know in real life, or as they say, IRL on the internet, right? So, but at the end of the day, yeah, know, like, trust. It's what we actually talk to our clients a lot about when we're helping them with their YouTube like channel strategies and things like that. So,
So you can, well, I guess with YouTube, where you, the owner of a company, are speaking to the people. I actually did one of those this week
mhm.
where I talked about title insurance, which it may not be, it won't win an Academy Award, but people do like to see who you are and kick the tires a little bit. Is there, in the other types of marketing, is it as easy to build trust as it is being face to face in a YouTube video?
Well, In the digital advertising world, I mean, the way it works, customers go through what we call a journey, right? There's a customer journey. People will find solutions to their problems in multiple ways. They start at the research phase, right? They go out, I have a problem to solve. I want to buy a new home, or I need insurance, right? Whatever the case may be, right? They start that journey somewhere. Sometimes they go to Google and start that journey. Sometimes they talk to friends and family. Sometimes they, get served an ad or something like this, right? But ultimately, the person that's looking to solve some sort of problem, they need to find information and ways to do that. So the question is, are you part of that solution, and are you making sure you're meeting them at the point of conversation that they are trying to have and solution they're trying to find? So, awareness building, right? If your people aren't aware of your business, there's no way they can consider you or eventually interact or purchase with you, right? So you have to build an awareness funnel in some way, and there's two ways to do that. You can pay to build a lot of awareness, like Nike, Apple, right? All the big brands, they spend millions and millions of dollars on television advertising, Super Bowl ads, digital ads, all kinds of stuff, right? To build awareness, right? This is how names and brands become superfluous, right? So, but in today's day and age, attention is so much more important, right? So if you want people to know, like, and trust you, if you don't have tens of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to spend on digital ads, what greater way than to be able to create content on subject matters that you know and can help people solve problems, creating content on a regular basis on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, doesn't matter the channel necessarily. I mean, it does to a degree to know where your audience is, but the opportunity's never been greater to be able to create content where you can put a message out and get people to know, like, and trust you at scale.
So scale is an interesting term. So, I can create a YouTube video, and if I get X number of hits, that's great. How do you build it to a scale where you're actually making the penetration that you want to?
Right. Well, the way we work with our clients, consistency and commitment is one of the biggest things. So most podcasts, most blog posts, most bloggers, everything. If you look at the statistics, so many people quit after like 5 or 6. 5 podcasts, they're done. 5 YouTube videos, they're done. 5 blog posts, they're done. Basically because they don't understand the concept of delayed gratification, right? They're looking for instant results. And so in order to build community, in order for people to know, like, and trust you, 5 just isn't enough. When you're dealing in a world like, Michael, how many episodes of Do You Ever Wonder have you done?
Probably about 60.
Right. You're up to 60. Imagine if you were at 600. The body of work matters, right? This guy, he's done this 600 times. He's put the reps in. He's met enough people. He's connected to all these people. That starts to say something. And 60 is no small feat, by the way. I'm not diminishing the 60, by the way. That's because you've already surpassed the majority of people that get into the world of podcasting, because they've said at 60, they go, well, what's the benefit? Did I get anything out of this? Did I make any business? I'm sure you've had benefits that you can identify, right?
But yeah, but to your point, you don't know where you don't know where your big hit is coming from. You
Right.
don't know where the critical mass is hit, and you finally reach the people or that one person who you wanted to meet, and
Mhm.
you just have to keep on plugging.
In the world of podcasting, there's this concept of like leveling up, right? So as you get one guest, it puts you in a position to get another guest, right? And so what you try to do with certain guests is like level up, right? So it's like, if I've interviewed somebody at this level, now I can probably get somebody at this level, and you keep stacking, right? Gets
Right.
easier. It gets easier and easier to build on that. Now, in terms of like reach and understanding the hits, it's like, so I have a music background. I think about somebody putting out a body of work. If somebody would put out an album, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, doesn't matter who it was, only some of those songs are going to be radio hits, right? If you put 10, 12 songs on an album, how many of them are actually hits, right? 2, 3,
If you're
some,
lucky.
if you're lucky, right? I mean, God forbid you're a one-hit wonder, right? We don't want to be a one-hit wonder. But again, that comes down to the consistency and commitment part. So in this world where we're dealing with algorithms and content marketing and all these sorts of things, we have to experiment, ideate, but we have to commit to the process to be putting these things out. But we also use a strategic approach to do that. Right? We hedge our bets by doing keyword research, knowing how to write good titles for YouTube, how to create SEO optimized descriptions, and then leveraging that and creating content that our audience actually wants to watch.
So now you also you are in many different industries. You are not industry specific. So you have to be knowledgeable on a variety of different fields and issues. How do you do that?
Well, it turns out I'm a genius, Michael.
Okay, well that's what I thought. So,
But yeah, so I am fortunate enough in the sectors that I am working in now. We do a lot in real estate, financial services, legal and accounting. We do a lot. And we also work with a number of like high ticket coaches and consultants. One is in the fashion industry, one is in the mergers and acquisitions segment of the business. We're looking at working with somebody who's got a lead gen program in the government space. And we also work in like entity formation and other things. So yes, diversity is key. I think that keeps us sharp. And it's not just me. I have a team of people that I work with, right? That work with me. So all of us, though, we take those learnings from one client to the next and what strategies we use, things that apply. I get leery sometimes of people who focus so much on a niche that, and because they got good at identifying or had success in that one niche. But real success comes from when you can mirror that over multiple industries and show that your worth and value and the systems and processes that you've built actually transcend. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. What matters is the approach and how you do it. So we take a lot of time. Usually the first 30 days of an engagement with a client for us focuses a ton on learning about their customers, diving deep on audience and customer personas, doing competitor research, analyzing all of their existing marketing materials, landing pages. We do like a 30-day marketing sprint, essentially. So within 30 days, we try to come up with a clear, concise marketing plan for a go-to-market. Like, so it depends if the client already had advertising in place or some channels in place, or are they like coming to us like they're ready to scale and they haven't done anything really in the past. So works both ways.
so you're working with a government contractor.
Are you? Yeah, I can't really talk about what that program is right now, but it's
No,
a
it's fun.
yeah, they're a company that helps people take advantage of other government programs, let's say.
That no, I wasn't trying to pry into
No,
who
it's
the
okay.
client is, but I mean, actually, way back in the day, I did look into Biz Ops. I don't know if you're
Mm.
familiar with that, but what is the so you have someone in fashion, you have someone in real estate, you have someone in government contracting. How what are their videos like? What are their YouTube videos like? Is the is one funny? Is one serious? Is one maybe sexy? How do you determine what's gonna fly?
Yeah, so a lot of that comes down to thinking about the audience, right? We talked about problem solving earlier, right? That customer, they have a problem. If I want insurance or if I need to start a new business, I want to start an LLC, right? I want to open up an e-commerce business, but how do I do that legitimately, right? Do I start a DBA? Do I get an LLC? What do I do, right? Or if I'm a real estate investor, I need to structure my entities and have a land trust and estate planning and how do I protect my assets and so I don't get sued and all that stuff, right? Like these are things. But if you are an investor and trying to learn those things, you're out there going to Google and searching for stuff. When we create the ads for people, for our clients, right, and we write scripts for them and we produce them and do all this, it starts with that problem solving. We actually have an entire formula that we follow from start to finish that talks about what is the customer's goals? What is it that the problem they're trying to solve? What is it that's in their way? What challenges or things are standing in their way of solving that problem, right? How do we establish credibility with the audience through our video? And theoretically, that video, because on YouTube, people go to YouTube to either learn something, be entertained, or be inspired. right? So a lot of the videos that we do, we're creating like educational videos that we use as ads. So a lot of it looks similar to like organic content, but it's structured in a way that it's driving people to, hey, you've addressed my problem because my targeting was so spot on. I know exactly the user I'm looking for, right? And so when you present that to them, they're like, yeah, that's the problem I was trying to solve. I wonder how they knew that, right? But it sounds like they're speaking directly to me. You ever see an ad and you feels like they're just talking directly to me?
Sure.
It's not by accident. It's by design. And because we know the audience we're targeting, we know what their problem is they're trying to solve. We know how to speak to their pain points and that the solution that we have is the solution they need. That's essentially what we're doing.
That's phenomenal. So, what makes someone like you successful and someone who's your competitor maybe not as successful is the creativity you bring, the research that you do, the insights that you have, the ability to pinpoint what
Right.
those pain points are for a potential client.
That's right. We're doing, I mean, at the level that we're doing for our clients, I mean, many of them, that's why we work with high ticket and financial services. The budgets are bigger, right? So this is good for an agency like my size. We like that sort of work because if I'm working with startup entrepreneurs, other people that don't have budgets, it becomes a long slog. They don't have they don't want to commit to certain things. They don't have the budgets. They're not sure about investing because they're unsure of their business themselves. They haven't figured out what the best offer is or how to position themselves in the marketplace. They never really thought about these things. Some people are accidental entrepreneurs and business owners. They were doing something and they end up in a position and it's like, I really don't know anything about marketing. It's the same like a restaurant owner, right? I've dealt with this because I was in the food space for a while, right? Restaurant owners are not good marketers. Some are, but many are chefs who end up as business owners and then don't know how to run a business, right? All of a sudden they have to deal with payroll and how to get new customers and deal with marketing and sending emails and doing social media, all these things that come with running a business. And then they look at their P&L and they're like, well, we don't have room in there for marketing, right? So
No, that's I mean that's a great point. I've talked to marketing companies in the past. I guess I'm a small to medium sized title company. My marketing budget is not huge,
right.
and marketing, you have to spend money to make money. That's the old adage, but you know, it's a hard decision to make. But I imagine people find you because you come well recommended, you are referred to them, and you have results that back up the reason why people are finding you. So now, you had mentioned something before about YouTube videos and finding them on Google in a
Right.
Google search. What does it take to get a YouTube video found in a Google search?
Authority, right? So Google, when we use the word algorithm, for instance, right? I'm sure you've heard that word. We're all trying to figure out the Google algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. Ultimately, what YouTube values most is that people stay on their platform and watch more ads. That's what they want, right? YouTube makes money by people, if they can increase watch times. If you actually have a video that's 8 minutes or longer, you could run multiple ads on that video, right? So most people are familiar with the skippable ad that happens at the front of the video. But in the middle of that video, if you're running 8 minutes or longer, you can now run mid-roll ads as well. And if you're somebody who has a channel that's monetizing, you can actually choose where you want those ads to play. So you can strategically place those ads if you want, right?
So how does YouTube determine that your video on the same subject 1,000 other people are talking about warrants their authority rating so that you get found on Google?
Right. It's going to be based on your engagement rate and your watch time. So if your video is the authoritative video on the subject, meaning same thing if you went to YouTube to search for a topic, if you're coming up in those top results, it means YouTube is valuing that video for that user. So by the way, if you type something into search and I type something into search, we may see different results,
Right.
especially depending on your location and other things. So YouTube knows a lot about your viewer habits. Google knows a lot about your search habits. They both combine these things. So depending on where you are, your search habits, what types of videos you like to watch, if they know you've never watched a video longer than 20 minutes, they're certainly not going to serve you an hour-long video to go watch, like in some instances, right? So they know your viewer behaviors and habits. How it actually ends up there, again, it has to do with becoming an authoritative video on that subject matter to begin with. So it means you have to have the better watch time, better view time than all the other people in that segment, right? All your competitors, so to speak.
Is it based on number of views? Is it based on many different things?
It's based on many different things, right? So YouTube takes into account a number of different things. One is watch time. So, and that's average watch time, right? So how many people, if the video is 5 minutes long, after the first 30 seconds, that's a big telltale sign. If people are dropping, right? If your engagement rate went from like, I had 1,000 people watching my video, but only 2 watching after 30 seconds, YouTube is not going to show that video to anybody. They basically, it's trash. They believe that your introduction, it means you need to do work on your hooks.
Well, to YouTube, it's trash. To my wife, it's good.
That's right. That's right. Well, she loves everything you do, right, Mike?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I have a wife too. I know. They support us.
Yeah, of course. No, but it's interesting. So as a fledgling marketer for a company, I'm always curious. What is it that grabs attention? I know that in emails, the subject line is critical.
Right. So for YouTube, it takes into account a few things. One, that watch time rate is imperative. So you should be looking at your watch time metrics. If you go into the back end of YouTube and you look at your just channel watch times overall, you want that number to increase. You should be doing everything you can to try to increase your watch time, right? So when you create a video, you should be looking at where did people drop off and then go analyzing that video on why somebody dropped off at that spot. It's easy for me to say because we do this in a formulaic way. We know very well, like, we need a strong hook up front, right? We need to address somebody's problem. So let's say, like, give me an instance. What would somebody search for to find your business?
They put in title insurance, New York
Right.
title insurance.
Right. Is there a problem? Like, what is a question people have about New York title insurance specifically? More of like a question, a frequently asked question you get, let's say.
You know what? If there was a question, it might be the cost.
Okay. So how much does title insurance cost in New York? Sounds like a great title for a video.
It really does.
Right. So if somebody has that question, then that's the question, right? But when you create the video, you would start with a hook that says something like, the most commonly asked question I get about title insurance is, how much does title insurance cost in New York? I'm going to show you how the cost of title insurance is determined and how you can save money on your title insurance in New York. And then you lead them through the video and you actually educate them on those points. And then you say at the end, succinctly, I'm Mike Haltman. Please like and subscribe for more information on title insurance. Find me at my website below in the description.
So that initial 30 seconds is designed to make them watch for more time.
You have to tease them, and everything becomes leading. So even after you do the hook, the question is, how do you create the next section of the video that leads them to the next part, right? So if it was about how much does title insurance cost, or how the cost is determined, but really the payoff is how to actually tell them how to save money on title insurance. Well, so this is how it's determined, and this is how New York, but I can tell you, I'm about to tell you 3 ways, watch to the end. I'm about to tell you 3 ways that you can actually save money on title insurance, right? You got to structure your video properly.
It's interesting. So, I know you handle a lot of different things, and we're spending a lot of time on video because I think that it's become video, whether it's TikTok or whether it's YouTube, it seems that that's become the genre that it seems to be what people consider to be the most effective in terms.
It is. It's the world that I'm playing in right now. Video ads comprise a large portion of the budgets that we spend for our clients, but that's because they're in educational products, right? We're not selling cell phone cell phone cases or things like this, like commodities, right? Which I don't need a lot of explanation. I know what a cell phone case is. I pick the color I like and I buy one, right? Like these things, you're going to YouTube for these more in-depth subject matters that need explanation. And I need a trusted guide. I need somebody that I can know, like, and trust that can help me on this journey. Like if you talk about real estate investing, and one of my clients who teaches tax and asset protection for real estate investors, right? In that instance, I've heard people attend their events. They're like, well, this is the fourth time I've been to this event, and every time I come, I learn something new
Right,
because it's so in depth.
right, right. No,
You-
that you know what I often call myself a Sherpa of title insurance.
Nice.
I think that's a very creative term.
I think so too. It's called branding.
Right. And well, no different than you're a Sherpa of marketing, really. No, that's phenomenal. So, do you see, there's only so much you can do with video, although it has come a long way. Now, well,
There's a lot you can do, Mike.
I'm hedging myself here, but no, there's a lot you can do. But is there a new, TikTok came around, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Is there something on the horizon that we're not aware of that is the next big thing?
Yeah, so I mean, there's still so much room on YouTube, frankly. YouTube is still so wide open. You've got the major players, Facebook, Meta, right? Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. You've got TikTok in the ring now, competing wildly, and they're compensating creators to do so. They're attracting more advertisers, right? They're trying to, same thing. They value watch time. They want to keep people on the platform. That's what all these platforms want. The commodity is your attention, right? That's what they're selling to advertisers. And what's coming on the horizon is this integration of artificial intelligence into the video world. It's happening quickly. We tested a tool just this week, asked it to create a 10-minute YouTube video for us. I mean, scripted the entire thing. It used an all B-roll for imagery and video to stick in there. So if you want to make video and not be in the video, this is coming very soon.
Really?
This is like, it's at our doorstep already. I mean, would I have used that video for a client per se? No. Would I use it for myself? Maybe, because I'm less, my clients sometimes, right? Everybody, they have a different view on themselves and how they want the persona perceived, things like that, right? But for myself, in the world of I'm a marketer and I can test things all day I want, people will know. I will say it's an AI generated video that talks about the subject matter or whatever it is. And so whether it's completely using B-roll, but using AI to script it, or having an avatar, an AI generative image or avatar made of yourself that can speak for you on your behalf. Because some people, right, the biggest hurdle for a lot of people with video is, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. I don't want to be on camera. That's the number one complaint I hear all the time.
Absolutely.
So
I've overcome that quite. I've overcome. I hate the way I sound, and I'm not always crazy about the way I look. But that, you know what? You just have to push forward, right?
yeah, but you don't say that when you're in person. If you went to a networking event, did you sit there at the networking event and analyzed how you looked and how you sounded and did all the things? No.
No, that's true. So you see AI, it's not going to be the same quality as you could create, but is it possible that people will say, you know what? It does the trick.
Like every piece of technology, there are some significant advantages and disadvantages to using AI. We have been embracing AI at the agency this entire year. For the last 8 months, we've been really using it for different efforts to help us create content, to help us ideate scripts, help us ideate YouTube videos, all these things. Currently, it requires a ton of human intervention. Like the AI itself is not enough on its own where you could just like, hey, find me 30 social media videos or whatever and crank that out. Some people may be happy with that stuff, but if you're really doing the due diligence on these things, or you have an obligation to create really great content for your clients, AI, what it has done though is just sped up the process. So the ideation process and all these things, I mean, it is just wildly sped up the process.
And is this a function of when ChatGPT hit the market?
That's right. ChatGPT is one of the tools. I mean, there are so many AI marketing tools. I mean, if you talk about generative AI, I mean, I have my partner in the agency, he has a print on demand business. I mean, they're using AI to create imagery to sell and do all sorts of stuff. So we haven't even touched, we've barely even scratched this. It's so new.
So is the price point of those, not ChatGPT because it's free, but of the other services that are AI oriented, are the costs of those a barrier to entry for for people.
Not at all. They're minimal at best. I mean, even if you look at, so I'll rattle off a couple for marketing purposes, right? But if you look at ChatGPT, we do use the pro version, which allows you to now upgrade to ChatGPT 4, integrate plugins. It can now analyze links that you send in there. For instance, we're creating 3,000 to 4,000 word blog posts using ChatGPT because I've trained an AI model to write content the way my agency writes content. So, if you ask ChatGPT, if I said to you, Mike, go create a blog post on title insurance, you would get back with your free version of ChatGPT, you'd get back like a 600-word version that looks like it's written by artificial intelligence. In my world, because I've learned, and this is really key to using AI, you really have to learn how to prompt it. And you really have to learn how to manipulate the AI. This is good leadership skills, honestly. If you're good at communicating to people, you should be good at communicating to ChatGPT because you are having a conversation with it. It is not Google. You are not asking it to return a search query. It is a artificial intelligence, and you need to treat it as such, meaning you should be having a conversation with it. On top of that, though, there's other, and so it's $20 a month for ChatGPT Pro, right? Which is peanuts, not cost prohibitive at all. Right. These AI generative image generators, there's Midjourney and there's Meet Leonardo. Same thing. I think $20 a month, you get like 8,500 credits with Meet Leonardo. You could create images out the wazoo. I'm actually testing a small music blog project, and it creates all my images for the music blog, and it's fantastic. I love this stuff. It's fantastic. Other things in the marketing world, like copywriting tools, there's Jasper, there's Copy AI. All of these are less than $100 a month, not cost prohibitive at all. The only things, the disadvantages and advantages, my team, we all have individual ChatGPT accounts. Not great for a business because when Sarah's working on something or Evan's working on something, those are sitting in silos now on ChatGPT. If you're using something that's built for agencies, like maybe like a Jasper or a Copy AI, you've got, group accounts, company accounts that now everybody can share, and you can see everybody's work product inside the platform. That way, if, God forbid somebody leaves the company, right, then the work's not lost, right? So,
it's fascinating. So as someone who works tangentially in your world, I find all of this fascinating. And I found our conversation to be fascinating. So if somebody wanted to reach you, how can they do that?
Sure. You can find me on LinkedIn at Sal Conca. My email address is sal@windfall.media. My agency's name is Windfall Media. You can find us online at windfall.media. Would love to speak to anybody in your audience that just has questions about marketing, YouTube, doesn't matter. Happy to always have a chat with people. So,
well, this was a lot of fun, very informative. And again, we're at a time when we all have to have our thinking caps on and really try and maximize what we have, because it's not just necessarily coming to us. So, Sal, I appreciate it, and I'd love to have you on sometime in the future.
You got it, Mike. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Do You Ever Wonder? And we hope that you enjoyed the show. Next week, we will have another terrific guest telling their story. And if there are any specific topics you'd like to hear more about, please don't hesitate to let us know. Our curiosity, like yours, knows no bounds. Please subscribe and like and share this episode on your social media. See you next week.